don't even know where to start. Seriously. Holy shit. Got on the plane, and first of all, it was very scary to drop Nora off at the airport and give her to the airport staff. I had purchased an Air France doggy crate because it has to be very specific dimensions, so I just bought it right off their website, the official Air France crate for Nora to be in, because she's too big to come with me in the cabin. So she had to go in the cargo hold, and this is terrifying for me, but this is an extreme circumstance, so I was like, well, there's no other way. What, I'm gonna get on a boat? I actually did Google, like, can I get on a boat to go to America instead? Like, how long would that take? Like, can I stream from a boat? Not a good idea, I think, because the boat, I think, takes 7 days, and I'm not sure if I would be able to stream from the boat. So I was like, well, I guess in this case, I should probably just get on the damn plane. And so I got Nora the Air France crate, I put her in it, I drop her off at the, basically there's like a specific section of the airport where you give them your dog. And you have to give them your dog 3 hours before the flight. And they do not give the dog any food or water throughout the flight. So I made sure that she had plenty of water, she had eaten, she's fine. And like giving her to the airport staff and walking away, I felt like shit. Like I felt so bad. Because I'd literally just give my dog to these strangers. And I'm like, okay, bye, sweetie. Good luck. See ya. And so I walked off. That was heart-wrenching to do. I was thankfully, because the cat is small, she was able to be in a soft bag carrier that I brought with me on the plane. So the cat is really chill. The cat hasn't had any problem at all. Okay, it's been fine for her. She was a little bit scared in the airport, but not that much. So anyway, got on the plane, sit down, and I'm like, oh my god, I should find out if they actually got Nora on this plane. And so I waved down a flight attendant, or I guess it was a flight attendant. He looked like he worked on the plane, and I'm like, excuse me, hello, I have a dog, and she's on the plane, right? Like, is she on the plane? Can you check? And he's like, oh, you have a dog on the plane? I'm like, yeah, she's in the cargo hold. Can you tell me if she's okay? And he's like, oh, you want me to call her? And I'm like, well, can you do that? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh. Okay, well, can you check if she's here? And he's like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll check. And so he like calls and he's like, they're not picking up. And then he's like texting to somebody on his like little tablet, and he's like looking concerned. And I'm like, he's like, well, I can't get in touch with them right now, so I'll check into it. And he walks off, and I'm like hyperventilating because I'm like, where's my dog? Is my dog on the plane? Did they lose my dog? I'm like looking out the window of the plane, seeing them load on the cargo into the cargo hold. I'm like trying to find her. I'm freaking the fuck out. And the plane's supposed to leave in 5 minutes. And so I'm just like staring this guy down. The guy who I asked, I'm like watching everything he's doing, like like a stalker. Like he walks back to the back of the plane to go deal with some stuff, and I'm like, did you forget about my dog? So then like I go to the bathroom, and like I walk out of the bathroom, and I'm in the back of the plane. I'm looking at him. I'm like, don't say anything, but I'm just like, hey. Finally he says, hey. He was on the phone with people, and he's like, and I'm like, like, didn't say anything. I assume this means, yes, dog in the cargo hold. Good. I'm like, okay, good. So and sit down. I'm like, whoo, what a relief. My dog is in the cargo hold. And the whole flight, I'm worried sick about her because I don't know what's going on in there. I've read all these horror stories before I got on the plane. I'm on Reddit, and I had Googled, like, dog in cargo hold, and I hear all these terrible stories about, like, dogs that died in the cargo hold. Dogs that, like, somehow they weren't loaded properly and they didn't get enough oxygen in flight and they suffocated. Or dogs that, like, a million different things can go wrong in the car. It's very dangerous. I would not recommend anybody do it unless you are in an extreme circumstance like the one that I unfortunately am in. And so I'm super scared. And the flight itself was fine. I watched the Joker movie, which was amazing. It was really good. So that was like 2 hours where I wasn't worried about the dog. It was when I was watching the Joker movie. Holy shit. I'm ready to watch it again. It was so good. I didn't get to see it in theater. But anyways, fantastic. Loved it. And I love Joaquin Phoenix because he's one of the big reasons I went vegan, actually, because of his documentaries that he made. Okay, anyways, so I loved that. That was great. And after the flight, get off, and I'm so freaked out and worried about Nora. I get my luggage, and I'm like asking everybody, hi, excuse me, I have a dog. Where do I go to pick up the dog? Like, how does this even work? Because in the Seattle airport, first you collect your baggage, then you go through security, and then you leave if you're on the international flight. And I'm like, okay, where's the dog pickup? I don't see any dogs around. And they're like, oh, just go through the security, and there's gonna be these big double doors, and just go through that. And I'm like, okay, got it, thanks. So I get my bags, and it's the only thing on my mind, getting to my dog, figuring out where's my dog. I go through security, I go through the big double doors, and it's just like giant airport. And there's no signs, I have no idea where to go from here. And I'm completely lost. I walked all the way around this airport, I could not find. Finally, I got in touch. I went to the Air France, like, ticketing counter. I'm like, where do you put the dogs? Where are the dogs? And the guy walked me all the way over to the other side of the airport where they put the dogs. I would have never found it. And I'm standing there, and it was me and another guy who had his dog on the plane. He was a French guy. And we're just standing there waiting for them to bring out our dogs. It took a really long time. He gets his dog. His dog is fine. He had a smaller dog. His dog was really chill. And then they bring out my dog. And some of you might be aware of what I had seen. Can I show this on Twitch? I don't think so. I just Googled it, and I don't think you can. So what I'll do instead is direct you to my Twitter account, which is at XEPLA on Twitter, if you want to see the pictures. But basically, when I picked up Nora and I saw her crate, I noticed that the outside of her crate was covered in blood, and her face and her paws were covered in blood. So yeah, it appears to me that there's a piece of metal in the crate's gate that got loose or got broken in transit, and this caused her to get cut up. Like, what I personally think happened is because it's such a piece of shit crate that I bought from Air France directly, like I brought it from their website. I was really pissed off that this happened because I just bought this crate. It's brand new. I had it shipped to me in France from Air France, and it was the first time it had ever been used. And so I was like, this shouldn't have happened. This crate should have been made better, that it wouldn't have gotten broken, or maybe like, I don't know how it got broken. Nora is not a destructive dog, but I think that probably something in transit must have rammed the crate, like maybe another piece of luggage or cargo rammed the crate and damaged the gate. And with that loose piece of metal, she might have been gnawing on it and chewing on it, being absolutely terrified. Because for Nora, like, her biggest fears are being in a cage, which I tried to like get her more comfortable with the cage before we left. But this is a process that I think takes several months. I only had about 1 month to try to get her accustomed to the crate, but I don't think it was enough time, honestly. Kisama, thanks for subbing. Coopers, thanks for subbing. One Kuya P, thank you for the 6-month resub. But she's afraid of crates. She's afraid of traveling. Like, traveling is very hard for her, and being away from me is very scary for her too. So it was like all 3 of these fears all rolled into one horrible experience. So after I picked her up, I immediately took her straight to urgent care. This was after a 10.5-hour flight. I had been up since like 5 o'clock that morning because I wanted to get the dog there way earlier. Like, I had been up all day already. I had the 10.5-hour flight, but I didn't care. Like, I was full of adrenaline. I'm like, I have to get my dog to urgent care right now and find out what's going on. So I took her to urgent care. The vet looked at her that day and said that there seemed to be no long-term damage. Like, it's all seems to be like topical surface level stuff. She said that there seemed to be wounds in her paw, like by her nail bed and maybe in between the toes. And there was also wounds in her mouth and on her tongue. But the vet said that the mouth wounds tend to heal very quickly. And she said, if it gets worse, come back. But she left. She said, you're gonna be fine. Like, just let her heal and rest. So that was Sunday. And my God, I had been up for like 25 hours that day when I finally got her back to the Airbnb that I'm at right now, which, by the way, is its own little situation that I should tell you about. But we'll get to that one sec. So people were saying, yeah, I posted these images on Twitter immediately, and I tagged Air France because I'm pissed about it. And yeah, some of you might have noticed that an Air France representative did write on that tweet a comment saying, oh, we're very sorry this happened. We'll talk to you in a DM so we can sort this out. And I wrote them a DM. And I said, yeah, okay, do you guys want to help? Because I would really like them to pay for her vet bills. I've been to the vet twice with her now. And they basically, what's going on with Air France customer service on Twitter is that they just look, I think there's probably a person who just their job is to be on Twitter, find people that are complaining about Air France, and then assign them case numbers. Because that's all that happened. I was like, yeah, here's my flight number, here's my booking code. And they're like, okay, thank you. We are gonna relay your message to our colleagues. Here's your claim number. We'll reach out to you after we investigate and everything. So I'm waiting on that right now. Now I am in the Airbnb, which it's really bad. It's really bad. So I'm in this Airbnb until, not this Friday, but next Friday. So like a week. So not tomorrow, Friday, but next Friday, I will move into my apartment that I have like a 7-month lease for. All right, so imagine the worst motel you've ever seen. That's where I'm staying. That's where I'm at right now. There's like a shitload of flies in here. And spiders, which is fine. I mean, I can deal with that. It's one of these places where as soon as you get in, you're like, I should check for bed bugs. That's one of the first things that I did when I got in here. I went to the mattress and like I checked the bottom of the mattress to see like, are there any bed bugs? Thankfully, there's no bed bugs, which is pretty good. Yeah. And, maybe I should get a fly trap. There is like holes in the walls and doors, and shit's falling apart, and it's really sketch. Okay, how can I put this? It's very shady. I'll just say that. This particular place I'm in is extremely shady. You know what? It reminds me a lot of the place that I lived in Baton Rouge. When I lived in a really bad part of town in Baton Rouge, which was a place where I would hear gunshots outside my window, like on a fairly regular basis. It feels just like that. And I feel like, damn, I can't believe I used to live like that. Like, when I was, let's just say, there was a time in my life, way before YouTube, when things were not going very well. All right. And I lived in a place so much like this. It's like very nostalgic for me to be here. I'm just trying to remember that I used to live like that. Yeah, so it's still a hell of a lot better than Baton Rouge, that's for sure. Like, really, it's still way better than Baton Rouge. But it's the most Baton Rouge motel I could find, probably, in the whole city. But it's expensive as hell. It's actually still expensive. It's like $150 a night. $140 a night, and it's the cheapest one that I could find. Yeah. It's Airbnb. Because I have 2 pets. Yes. Yeah. No wonder there's like a massive homelessness problem. It's costing me a fortune to stay here until I can move into my apartment. It's horrific. Any other place wanted to charge me like $3,000 from now until next Friday. $3,000 fucking dollars. That's the kind of money they want from me. Are you insane? That's more than I paid for tuition for like a whole semester. What the fuck? So it's bad. Yeah, a monthly discount, but I could only stay for like a week. Having the 2 pets with me definitely made it a lot harder though to find a place. Thankfully, I checked out the place where I'm gonna be moving into later, like next Friday, and it seems really good. It seemed like the rent is reasonable. It's nice, safe, good area. Seems nice. I'm like, it's not like spectacular, but it's like very basic, neutral, normal. That's all I need right now. Seriously. So I'm happy. You wonder what safe means? Safe means that whenever I look at the crime map, it's not a shitload of crime in that area. That is what I've been looking at mostly to determine what is the crime rate in a particular neighborhood. Okay, all of that said, so that's all the bad stuff. I wanted to get all the bad stuff out of the way before I talk about some of the good things. So basically, Seattle is extremely beautiful. It is such a beautiful place. There are so many, like, absolutely breathtaking neighborhoods where you can see the mountains, you can see forests, you can see the water. There is the Mount Rainier, which I had seen pictures of it. Like, I had seen the pictures of Mount Rainier. Like I knew that you could probably see it in most spots of Seattle, but it wasn't until I actually came here that I understood how freaking massive it is. Like, pictures will not at all give you a sense of how fucking massive and menacing this volcano is. It looks like a stereotypical volcano, but it's like ice on the top of it. Every time I look at it, I just can't believe how giant it is and how terrifying it is. That it's right there. It's like looming, staring down. It's really cool. It's so cool though. So that's been really neat. The other day I went to West Seattle and I ate at a little restaurant there. I had some enchiladas. Oh my god. Actually, I have a picture. I had enchiladas and oh my god, it was so legit. It's completely vegan, by the way. Like, the sour cream was vegan, cheese was vegan, and it was exactly like how I remembered it from before I went vegan in America. I was so fucking happy. Like, oh my god, I was so happy. I was like, I can have enchiladas again. It's great. Oh damn, it was so good. It was chicken, actually. I mean, not chicken, but tastes exactly like chicken. So great. And that was it was like a little restaurant that was overlooking the beach, and you could smell the ocean air, like the sea salty ocean air, and I was just like, wow, it's so cool. I can come here anytime. That's the thing that's been really strange, is this feeling like I can actually go to places and it won't be the last time in my life I go there. It's hard to believe it still. Like, I still feel like a tourist because I have constantly been moving from place to place, and pretty much anytime I find somewhere, I'm like, well, I better enjoy it now because I'm not coming back. But this has been unique in that I've been able to be like, I can go back anytime, actually. That's really nice. And the first place I went when I came here, it was like super, super American looking cafe, like retro. And this was the first place that I ate after arriving in Seattle. And it was like so extremely American. It was such a it really made me feel like I made it here. Like, I'm actually here now. It was such a cool vibe inside. I remember I had breakfast. I had yeah, it was all vegan, obviously. It was a sausage breakfast hash with some salsa and strawberry jam and tofu. Oh my god, it was fantastic. I remember sitting there and eating it, and it's hard for me to describe to you the way that I felt being in here. Like, I had already gotten Nora inside the apartment. I had talked to the vet. I knew that she was gonna be okay. Had all my shit inside the Airbnb, and I just finally, for the first time in like 6 fucking months, I could just breathe and feel like I have somewhere I can stay. I can stay here. I really I think it was the first time that I felt relaxed or like truly happy. Like, actually truly all the way down happy in over 6 months. Like, not afraid and not feeling like I'm drifting. Like, I remember I got in, and before I even sat down, the guy's like, "Can I get you some coffee?" And I'm just sitting there drinking coffee, and I felt like I was gonna cry. I felt like Frodo after he threw the ring into the fires of Mount Doom, and he got back to the Shire, and he's like having a party, right, at the Green Dragon, and they're like drinking beer and they're chilling out and like everything's good. That's how I felt. Like, it's done. Like, I fucking made it. I made it out.